There are two types of girls. There's the girl that never wants to eat and is never hungry and has to force herself to eat. And there's the girl who is always hungry and always wants to eat, and it's really hard to be in a deficit. I am the latter. Hey guys, what's up? It's Erin, and in today's video, we are going to be going over how to figure out your macros, what type of split is going to work best for you, tracking them, and all things surrounding macros, because it can be a very challenging subject for somebody who is brand new to fitness or health, or is newly going to the gym and has recently learned about tracking macros rather than calories, and it can seem really overwhelming. So we're gonna go through it together. I'm gonna show you the site that I use to figure out my personal macros. It's worked for me now for a couple of years. I do it probably every couple months, but mainly only like if my weight changes. So if my weight changes by about 10 pounds, I will go in and I will reconfigure my macros to figure them out. So I'm gonna show you how we do that, and we're gonna go over the topics of what macros are and why it is more valid to count macros than to just count calories. Okay, so if you're here for this video, you probably already have an idea of being in a deficit or a surplus of calories. So you probably have a basic understanding of how calories work, right? So we know that in a deficit, our body is going to lose weight. In a surplus, our body is going to gain weight. And then we have a maintenance level at which those are the amount of calories our body requires in order to do what we do daily, whether that includes working out or if it's just your day-to-day activity. But if you truly want to reshape and have body recomposition, you have to pay attention to macros. And I'm going to give you an example. Person A eats 2,000 calories. Person B also eats 2,000 calories. Person A is eating a mix of high protein with moderate carbs and low fats. Person B is eating 2,000 calories of fast food and donuts and candy. Both of these people are in a deficit at 2,000 calories. This person A, is going to lose weight and they're gonna start looking more toned. You're gonna see muscle. You're gonna see them slim down. Their waist will look smaller. While person B is going to be losing weight. However, they are gonna get that kind of skinny fat appearance. They're probably still gonna hold a little bit of belly fat. They might still have a little bit of jiggle on their arms. They're not gonna have muscle tone because if they're not eating the protein, it's not going to their muscles, which means their muscles are actually going to shrink in size. Being in a deficit, the only way to maintain your muscle size is to make sure that you are getting enough protein. Another reason why it is so important to learn how to track and count your macros and figure out the macro split that works for you is just basically energy levels. So if you're a gym girly, if you're a new gym girly and you're going every day and you're putting in all your effort, you're trying to hit PRs, you're out there, you are lifting heavy weight, and you find that you are just absolutely exhausted, or maybe you've been hitting your weight and you've started to kind of eat off track or like crap. You go out there and you go to deadlift the same amount of weight and suddenly you can't get the same number of reps. There is something to blame, and it is likely your nutrition and it's likely your macros. You need a pretty specific, not super specific, but a pretty specific macro split. You need to be getting a certain number of your calories from carbohydrates, so quick energy source, and a certain number of your calories from a long-term energy source like fats. And then you also need your proteins to keep your muscles working and the size that they're currently at, and so that they can grow. Ultimately, the big thing here is that we are not ever eliminating one group entirely. I will never encourage you to completely eliminate carbs. We are not a keto space here. I'm not saying that's wrong. There are certainly people who believe in it and they have had success with it. Personally, for me, I do not love that strategy of weight loss, fat loss. It does not make sense to me, and from what the research that I've done in how the body needs to be maintained. Ultimately, they're called macros, meaning that they are our large nutrients, and we need all of them. You never want to eliminate down to nothing. It was one of the things in bodybuilding that towards the end kind of freaked me out. My fat got so low, it was dropped below, and granted, I was my own coach, so I have nobody to blame but me. But my fat was like right at around 20 grams a day. That is nothing. And your brain literally relies on your body intaking fat as a nutrient so that it can function. So you literally can start to feel kind of dumb and sluggish just from not eating fat. So if you're like, I'm gonna cut out fats because I think they make me fat, you're probably gonna have some really bad side effects. If you cut out all your carbs, yes, there are benefits. People have seen extreme weight loss. They felt less sluggish and tired because carbs can spike your insulin, which can like bring you up, but then they drop you down, so your energy levels drop. But carbs are also what help you have enough energy in the gym to do what you need to do to progress in your workouts. Sorry, I had to get an energy drink. There is so much to talk about macros. That was kind of my spiel and what I feel is the most important, especially somebody who's new and feeling overwhelmed. Those are the main points that I want you to take away currently. I could talk about macros all day long and get into the big sciencey depths of it, but I'm not gonna drag you along for that. So instead what I wanna do is give you some valuable information. So I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna move to my computer where you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm gonna show you the website that I use to track my macros and figure out where I need to be. And I'm gonna show you how to do that too, so that you can in turn start tracking yours. And then we will talk about how to actually keep track of your macros throughout the day. Okay, so here's the website up here. This is macrosinc.net. So you're gonna come to this website and you see up here they have like coaching. And so they are gonna try to sell you on coaching because you're gonna have to input your email at the end. But what you're gonna go to is you're gonna go to macro calculator over here on the right. And we're just gonna work our way through this. So pretty much it's gonna ask you your preferred units, so imperial, and then your goal. So this can be used whether you're trying to lose fat, put on muscle, or maintain. So lose fat, you're gonna be in a deficit. Build muscle, you're gonna be in a surplus. And maintain, you're just going to be maintaining your body. So I'm gonna put lose fat. I'm a female. Your age, oh boy. Weight. Your height. So here is where we're going to get into some choices. Carbohydrate preference, higher carbs, lower fats, or lower carbs, higher fats. So this is going to be a choice and you might have to actually play with this a little bit on your own. So you might have to try one, whichever you think you're going to like. And if you start to notice that you're feeling sluggish or lacking energy, you can come back, do it again, but switch it to the other one. For me personally, I prefer higher carbs, lower fats. I like my carbs. I like my rice cakes. I can suffer a little bit without the higher fats. I typically eat the majority of my fats in the morning, and then those keep me satiated until lunchtime. So that's what I'm going to go with. Again, right here, this says it has no bearing on your weight loss, and it's all about what you prefer to eat. It can also be about how your body responds. Again, some people just respond to different macros differently. So try the one that sounds best for you. If you prefer to eat eggs and red meat and dairy products, you might want to go with the higher fats. If you're somebody who likes rice cakes, you like oatmeal, you might want to, and those are staples in most of your meals, you might want to go higher carb. Okay, next one down, resistance training. I'm hoping we're all clicking yes here. Are you doing resistance weight training? Next, if you click yes, it's gonna pop up with your training level experience. So here, be very honest. Nobody's judging. So I'm gonna put intermediate, 2 to 10 years. I'm towards the further end of that, but I'm still within that range. So that's what I'm clicking. If you're a newbie, hit beginner. Activity. I want you to pay attention to the fine print here. This says when selecting your activity level, please choose sedentary unless you have a job that involves manual labor. So certain jobs, yes, do require manual labor. I'm a bartender and I walk all over. I get about 17,000 steps in my shift on average, but I'm not doing that. I'm only doing that like 3 nights a week. And also that is still not going to be considered active. So for this, most people are going to fall into sedentary. And then it depends on how many times a week you're training. So my training ranges from 4 to 6 times per week. So that's where I'm going to put it. And then if you clicked on the fat loss here, you're going to have this option, this deficit level. So they recommend that you choose moderate, mild. Painful is going to be hard. If you are not ready to be hungry all the time, I wouldn't choose painful. I feel like that is setting you up for failure unless you've done deficits before in which you've come close to that level and you've been successful. So I'm going to go with moderate. I'm going to put that I am not interested in our 2 free weight coaching. And then here we are going to put our information and hit calculate. So this gives you this. You are going to get an email. I think they send you an email that actually has all this information too. If not, screen grab it or print it out. So here are my macro results. So 120 grams of protein per day. So that is 1 gram per pound that I currently weigh. That is what they're putting me at. Fat, they have me at 44 grams, which for me is very doable. And carbohydrates at 175 grams. I want to ask some of you girls that have ever looked at like macros before, what did you see for carbohydrates, or where did you have yours at during a fat loss phase? So many girls will put theirs under 100 grams, and I can't. It makes me sad because carbs are good for you. They are not the devil like everybody else intends them to be. So this says my calories for the day are at 1575. Mind you, I'm very short. I'm also getting older. So everything in this little questionnaire is going to factor into your results. Somebody who is only 22 years old is probably, even if we have the exact same bodies and we're doing the exact same workouts, they're probably going to get more calories than me. Because as you age, your metabolism does slow down. So for me, this is going to be a little bit lower than somebody who's in their early 20s. Now, if I would have chose mild, I did this earlier, it was in the 1700 range. So I could still eat at a deficit. I could still be in a mild deficit at 1700 calories. I'm 4'11". I'm 4'11" and I weigh 120 pounds. I want you guys to hear me so loud and clear when I say this. You do not have to eat 1,200 calories a day to lose weight. I am 4'11". Most women that I know are at least 6 inches taller than me. So their calories are going to be even higher, even at a moderate deficit. So please do this and find out where yours is. So for you, just so you know, backtracking, digressing again, I currently eat 1,600 calories a day. That is what my MyFitnessPal is set at. So now we are going to go into that. Okay, so now that we have our macros set up, how do you keep track of them? A lot of you have probably heard of MyFitnessPal, so this is my phone over here. This is the coolest thing. I have this pulled up on my Mac because they just introduced like iPhone mirroring, and that means I can just use my phone directly from my phone screen. So I'm going to show you guys. So I have mine on my front page here, and I guess I lied. I'm at 1,660. I thought it was 1,600. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. I am going to be very honest. I don't have the premium. And so that does make tracking your macros on here a little bit harder, right? If you've ever used this before, so you're going to go to, once you have this, and you'll have to set it up. I think you can set it up with like your Facebook account if you haven't yet. You're going to go into these 3 little dots, and then you go into your goals. And you're going to go, I don't pay attention to this because if you enter all of this information in, MyFitnessPal almost always puts you at 1,200 calories. So just don't. You're going to go down here and customize your default or daily goals. So here you can set your calories, and then how you set your macros in here you're not going to get perfect. That's the thing, unless you pay for premium. If you pay for premium, you can set your macros individually. Here you can only set a percentage. So if we do 1,600 here, and then maybe, I don't know if this works, return. Oh, okay, hit that. Okay, then we're gonna go to carbohydrates. You can see that this is what my macros were earlier. So here, this one is 180 grams, so 5 grams more. And that's coming because they said I should be at 1575. Protein is at 120 and fat is at 44 grams. So mine is almost pretty much spot on. My carbohydrates, if I were to drop that down to 1575, it would probably drop all those by a little bit. So if you didn't know this, I guess now is a good time to say this too. Your macros do have a calorie count per macro. So carbohydrates and protein both have 4 calories per gram. Fat has 9 calories per gram. So what would happen, and the way that you actually configure this, say without MyFitnessPal, you would take 180 grams of carbs and you would times that by 4. And that would give you the calories from carbohydrates that you are going to be eating per day. You do the same thing for protein, so 120 times 4. I didn't know the 181, but 120 times 4 is going to be 480. So you're going to be eating 480 calories per day from a protein. And then for fats, you're going to do the same, but instead you're timesing it by 9. So in my case, you would take 44 times 9, and that's the number of calories you're eating from fat per day. So this is how you set it up. At the end, you just hit, like, there was that little check mark that was down here in the corner. You'll go back, go to your diary, and then you can add your food. So we can actually probably do this for today. I had sugar-free creamer. I just had 2 eggs, not 3. I had, I hope it's in here. I couldn't find these in here. I thought I had saved them before. I love these. These are my favorite. I think it's Amy Lou breakfast sausages. The macros on these are going to be, you get 3 links for 80 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, and 11 grams of protein. So I did 2 servings of these, but what are they under? Amy Lou chicken mini links. Okay. So I had 2. And, wheat bread. Okay. So now that we did all that, this is my meal one. Okay. So 380 calories in total. Now, you can't see all of your macros from here, but if you scroll to the very bottom, you'll see this button for nutrition, and you can hit it. So you're going to see here, and this is going to show you your macros. So you have, for the day, I'm so far at 37 protein, 17 carbs, and I'm already at 18. And you can see the little bar there that's going to kind of show you how much progress you're making as you get closer. So I've already eaten a very good chunk of my fat, but I told you, like, I eat the majority of my fat at the beginning of the day, and then I kind of taper it off. Like lunch, I barely have any, and then at dinner, I might have a little bit more, and my snacks usually are more carbohydrate with some protein. But here you're going to be able to see this. I think you can see, you can see week view. You can also, up here at the top, you can click on macros, and it's going to show you the percentage of what you've eaten out of each macro group for the day. So this will kind of give you an idea of like how close you are to being on target. So obviously I'm only 1 meal in today, so mine are going to be off. But so right now I'm at 18% of carbohydrates. So like my next meal will probably be pretty carbohydrate heavy, because I need to be at 45%. My fat's at 25 and it's currently at 43. So my next meal needs to be very low in fat. And my protein is currently at 39, which means I'm pretty much on track to hit at least 30% protein for the day. So that's how I track my macros. Obviously you can get the premium. I'm not paying for it. I'm not. So I'm not doing that. And I have found MyFitnessPal though to be the most user-friendly, and that's why I continue to use it despite not going premium. I've tried some others. This is just the one I find the easiest. I find that I find the most foods from the grocery store. Like if they are pre-prepared, like these sausages, I can find them in there, where with other apps, I have had a very hard time, and then I have to enter everything manually. Anyway, that ended up being a little bit longer than I intended. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all that I can help you answer, please do not hesitate. You can visit my Instagram and send me a DM. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to have a look at your macros and do what I can to help you. So drop your comments and questions down below, and I will see you next Monday for a new video.